I'm Jay.
And I'm Crystal.
And we are the BRATTEN'S. Guys, we are starting a new series. And we told you don't want to miss a lot of this stuff. Because we're talking about our whole full story. Trust me, it's a lot to it. And it's the first part. So what are we talking about in our first part of our series, babe?
Alright guys, so we're going to talk about how we met.
Right from the beginning.
From the beginning. So it all started when 15, 16 years ago. So I was away in college in nursing school. And I came to my hometown pretty much like every month, once a month, something like that. I would come home. So I came home this one Sunday and came to the church and walked in, sat down with my friends and everything, and then noticed that there was like a new musician up in the front. So I was like, oh, we got a new musician, because he hasn't been there new musician. He hasn't been there the whole time, so I just appeared one weekend and he was there.
Even though she wasn't there, but I was new.
Yes, I just didn't know that because I had been away in college. I just came home to visit. I was like, oh, we got a new musician, so, kept on going about my day or whatever. So then every Sunday when we're home, we always go over our bishop's house and just have a full dinner feast. And like all the youth pretty much go over there. They hang out, chill out. We play games, talk, all the above. I
used to love doing that, Every single Sunday, we'd have a big full feast of food and fellowship, and even more music if that was called for that week. And a lot of times we just had conversations with Bishop about God or just life and just different things that we wanted to do. It was just a fun time, something that we could do like right after church. So as she said, I guess I was the new musician there at the time, and she would come here and there. I was full-time at the church by then. And so I would see her here and there. And my first reaction to her, I was like, she's nice, but she's not smiling.
He thought I was mean, guys.
It wasn't like a mean face. She just wasn't smiling as much. I don't know. I was looking for that smile because I was feeling her a little bit, but I was looking for more of a smile. And then she thought I was loud and
he was like, like them class clowns back in the day, he was like always trying to be a comedian and just loud and making everybody laugh. Like that's pretty much what he did at Bishop's house all the time. So I was like, this guy's just like all about himself and likes to be seen, and it's all about him. And like I wasn't feeling him like that at all. I actually was seeing somebody else at the time anyway.
She would come periodically. And this is one Sunday, like I said, I've seen her. I noticed her, the first couple times she came. But this is one Sunday she came to the church, and then she came afterwards to the fellowship that we have at Bishop's house. And I guess this Sunday I was like, oh, I guess she was smiling and laughing, as we always do. And I finally got to see that smile, and I was like, something about her, I like her. It was just something, I don't know. It's just a thing. It was a thing. That was like something about her. That's all it was at the moment. Yeah. So I started inquiring. I started. Look, I ain't go to her. I went to DJ. I went to my homie first. It was like, yo, who that? Like, what I mean? Like, I ain't go straight up to her. I ain't had the courage then, but I started inquiring about who she was. And at the time, she was in a relationship. So I was like, all right, cool. That was that, really, for a little bit. But she kept coming. She would come back to the church. I guess she had broke up. I don't know what happened. But as soon as I found out, I went in for the number.
Yeah, in the midst of that, I ended up broken up with my prior boyfriend. And we just started talking here and there. I would go back to my college. We would talk like maybe once a week to like every like a couple times a week to every other day into then every day. But at the time, like I wasn't feeling him like that at the time. I was still just kind of like, oh, he a nice guy, whatever, I wasn't really like looking at him in that type of way at all. I was just enjoying the friendship of everything.
Yeah, we became good friends, guys. For a while. We actually started hanging out like as friends now. my whole goal wasn't just friends, but you know, at the moment, like, you know, at first maybe, but like after a while, I was like, because we started hanging out, so I was like, you know, I was really starting to feel it in. I was like, oh yeah, this is cool, you know what I mean? And the fact that she was older than me, and you know, she was very mature, and I wasn't. So I think that alone, I think that alone really helped me, you know, see something in her that, you know, made me want to go after it. Like, you know, a matureness and my immatureness, I guess. I don't know. Opposites. I don't know what it was, but it was something like that, yeah.
So I remember the one time, I don't know if it was a weekend, I think it might have been a weekend, I came home and there was like a concert going on. And so me and him, you know, we were just like, you know, friends. Like I said, we would talk every day, you know, and he started to feel me. So I'm like, okay, he actually feeling me. And I would just kind of like, I guess I was like in a denial zone. And I wasn't really trying to like go there. And then he wasn't like some of the qualities that I actually want. Like, he was younger than me, and I was like, I would never date a younger guy ever in life. And so he was like my first young guy that I've ever dated. So far as like what's being on your list, ladies, he was not stuff that was on my list. And I was like, and then a musician, I was like, no, I definitely ain't dating no musician. And I was like, I was in nursing school, so I always see myself being with like a doctor or a nurse or something, that somebody in the medical field. Never like looked at no musician. And I was like, okay. Then he was like my first dark skinned guy. So he was just all in a whole nother zone, and that was on my list.
You don't go back.
Right. So just totally different. And then loud, and like I said, you guys wanted to be seen. I was just like, I just wasn't about that type of stuff.
I wasn't. That's the way she perceived me. That's not how I was. That's
so we were like totally opposites in my eyes. And I'm still, you know, still feeling him like that. Just like, oh, he's a real nice guy. But
I'm feeling her by now.
Right. He's feeling me by now. And I'm just, you know, just in the friend zone. So one day he asked me if I wanted to go to a concert. Y'all, this was Ty tribute concert. So I was like, oh yeah, sure. So I thought nothing of it. I didn't even think of it as a date at all. It was just kind of like, oh, you know, we just going out as friends, like cool. And his sister actually had drove us there, and we had all got in the car and went. Mind you, I did not know like how things was gonna go, because I didn't know his sister. Was the first time meeting her. It was like kind of like a stranger in the car. Mm-hmm. So he sat beside me and he put his arm around me while we were in the car. So like it was just like a different feeling all of a sudden. So I was just like, okay. And at that point, I think I was starting to like feel him a little bit, but I was trying not to, because he just wasn't on my bucket list of lists. The concert, it was a nice concert, and we actually enjoyed ourselves.
Thank you, Ty.
It was a nice, it was a nice ride on the way back and everything. We had like a spiritual connection with each other. I was drawn to him in a spiritual way before physical, which is like really like backwards. I don't know if it's backwards, but like that's never for society. It's backwards. So that's never happened to me before. So I was like, to not like feel a guy, but then I'm like attracted to him spiritually before physically was like different for me. I never experienced that ever in life until I met him. Let me backtrack. So maybe also the reason why I probably was in denial about even wanting to try to pursue this guy at all is because with my last boyfriend, I had prayed to God, and I said a prayer, and I was like, God, like, let this next guy that come into my life be my husband, is what I had prayed to God after I broke up my last boyfriend. And then all of a sudden, this boy over here, he comes into my life, and we start talking. So I was like, oh no, I don't think that's what the guy's saying. We just friends. I want to overlook stuff. So I was in denial for a long while, guys. But I remember I had went through something with my family, and I was just going through a lot of different things, and he actually was there for me. He prayed for me with the situation. We just kind of connected spiritually. And guys, when I say something happened in that room when we went to pray, it was like this spiritual connection. I felt the Spirit of God was like all into that room. We were just like in a whole spiritual room, and it was just like the presence of God was literally in that room. It was just totally different, and I was like, there's something about this guy, you know, there's something different about him. I've never had this experience before at all. So I'm really like starting to feel him. a little bit more, but still in the still in the denial zone and not want to accept it yet. So as time went on and we spent more time together and talking on the phone, getting to know each other more, we would talk about God on the phone and just a whole lot of different things. And I've never had this experience with the opposite sex before, where I felt attracted to him spiritually before I was attracted to him physically. And the spiritual attraction was really strong, and it was like almost God kind of like telling me something in the spirit.
What was he telling you in the spirit? What does that mean? Exactly. No, I'm joking.
I'm just saying that because I had prayed a prayer that the next guy that came into my life, I wanted that to be my husband. So I feel like God would just kind of give me some confirmations by our conversations that we were talking about. You know, we were talking about God and just talking different things. And
sorry, y'all. This is actually our first time actually telling this. Y'all experienced it first, okay? We haven't even. No, we talked about us doing this, but we've never. So this is our first. So I'm finding out stuff as well. I'm sure she can find out some stuff too.
This is good communication, guys.
I had just never had like a spiritual connection with somebody I was into, like, you know, starting to feel a lot. And, you know, we just never had that. I just never had that connection. Like she said, it was like a wild moment for, you know, for me too. I'd never really talked about God with the opposite sex, unless they were my grandmother, my mother, my godmom, just not a girlfriend or, you know, a companion or, I mean, maybe a friend, but never my girlfriend. We was always talking about anything else but God. Like, we wouldn't talk about, not that I wasn't saved, but we just, I don't know. That just wasn't a thing.
So this was just different for me. And although we were still friends at the time, but it was just like, he was just a nice guy, like a nice, clean, genuine guy where you could just, you know, talk to him about things, and his, you know, he had an ear to listen to me. And it just felt natural. But I was still in this denial zone and did not see the potential of what he could be in my life.
Little did she know.
Little did I know. And that's all because I had this, you know, this whole list together, you know, that sometimes that can be not a good thing to have, ladies. You know, don't come into a relationship and you have all these pre-things, you know, the Prince Charming, and you have X, Y, and Z, and then you miss who's really supposed to be your husband because you're trying to get all your list checked off, and that might not happen because God may have other things for you.
And same thing with the dudes, because, you know, we look for certain things, and like, those things aren't really always valuable things that, you know, you're going to want to have later on in life. The beauty, of course, but I'm talking about the rest of the stuff. Like, some of that stuff, not going against women, but some women are just pretty. Literally, that's it. Some can't do certain things for you that you're gonna need. You know what I mean? So like, just those certain values really just stood out in her for me. This is why we're here today.
I think I was more like a challenge for him.
She was.
And I'm gonna say that because I was just on a whole different level, a whole different scale. And for one, I was a virgin. So I was a challenge for him because I put up my standards. I gave him my standards from top to bottom when we did decide to be officially a couple. You know, so he knew like the standards and where I was and what I desired and wanted. And instead of him running from it, he decided to stand up to the challenge.
Like I said, y'all, she was a lot more mature than me. Like, so like that alone was drawing me to her. And then, you know, like she said, you know, I was up for a challenge.
Like I said, we kept getting closer and closer, and so I was, you know, praying to God. And one day I just woke. It was almost like I woke up one day, and the next time I looked at him, it was like all scales fell from my eyes or something. I don't know what occurred. Like, I had feelings instantly. I guess I stopped being denial. I was like, I got feelings for this guy. Like,
we was working, y'all. We was putting in a little bit of work. We was putting in a little bit of work, huh? We started putting in a little bit.
And I didn't realize it. I really didn't realize it, or I didn't want to, because he wasn't all the things on my bucket list. I was still in that frame. So I decided, I guess I'm gonna walk into this thing and see what happens.
I'm gonna go back a little bit as well, guys. So as she said, we started talking with each other on the phone a lot. Like, started with, once, twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week.
Right.
And the next thing you know, it was every night. Next thing you know, we was breathing on the phone, not saying nothing, talking to each other.
Falling asleep on the phone.
Right. All of the above. You know how it go, y'all.
Right.
So y'all know. So all of that was happening, and we were starting to create a vibe there. Just with each other, and like I said, the spiritual side was already there. I'm fully in filling her mode at this point. You know what I mean? So, we hanging out here and there. I would go visit her. In
He
Baltimore.
would travel, y'all, right?
I would travel like 2.5 hours.
I was like, oh.
2.5 hours from Shelbyville, Delaware to Baltimore, Maryland. Because, like I said, we had a connection. She was in college at the moment.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, about once, twice, 3 times a month.
Yeah.
I would definitely come up. We go do something. But we were friends, and I don't even know if I've had that process with anybody else.
Just enjoying the friendship.
Yeah, just enjoying like each other. You know what I mean? Like, I never forget this one time we were at the pizza place, and I don't remember everything clearly, so I'm just giving my version of what I remember. First time meeting Mom. So we go to a banging pizza place that they knew about in Baltimore, and we get there. And we go and we chilling. They ordered a pizza, so we wait, and then we walk out. And I don't remember exactly how this happened, but I think Mom stopped at the door and looked around like, you're supposed to open the door for us, type of thing. I was like, it took me a second, but then I was like, I caught on real quick. And she said a little comment. I don't remember you remember what she said? I don't remember. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do, or something like that.
I was embarrassed, y'all, because I was like, Mom, we're not even together. We just friends.
Right. I never forget that experience. Mom, if you're looking down watching on us, that was classic. That was classic. Classic move there. And that gave me a little confidence in okay, she might like me a little bit. You know what I mean? She might like me, as her daughter's friend. You know what I mean? Like her daughter's boyfriend or whatever you wanted to call it at the moment. That let me know that okay.
You felt accepted.
I felt accepted a little bit. Like I said, we weren't official, but I had a little acceptance going on there. That moment was special. That moment was special for me. By the time we got to the car, I was on it. I went and got the door, and I think what got her mom was I went and opened her door. Did I go over the door? Uh-huh. I think I went and over her door. At that moment, I was on it. I was like, all right, I know what to do. I think she said something.
Ease his way in,
Told y'all we was putting in some work, okay? Like I said, we would just hang out. Like I said, we went to a Tyrone Tribute concert. She met my sister. Ended up meeting my mom. And guys, let me just be straight up. 2 of my girlfriends before Crystal, my mom and my sister was like, nah, from the get-go. They were like, nah, she ain't the one. From the get, I didn't even get a chance to let them meet her. They were like, nah, she ain't it. They just had this thing. So when Crystal came along, they were like, she's a good girl. That just felt good to have that moment from my mom and my sister, because they were against everybody else, it seemed like. Like I said, we were in getting to know each other mode. Right. Where we would talk every day and enjoy everything. She had never been with a musician before, and I had never been with a nurse, So everything was new. And like I said, we had that spiritual side always there. Yes. And that was beautiful. That was just a beautiful thing. That was a beautiful time in life. Well, for me, hopefully for you too.
Yes, it was.
At that time of my life, like I said, I was nowhere near the mature person that I am today. I was nowhere near this. So just to have that, meant a lot to me at that moment, because I was very mature in those days.
So it was actually refreshing just to meet a guy who actually liked you for you, and not just for your appearance or for your body or for sex or anything like that. And he was able to respect me in all those areas, and to respect my morals and my boundaries and what I stood for. That's something that you don't see a lot in this world in general. And a lot of my previous boyfriends weren't able to handle that because of my morals of, of just wanting to wait for marriage before having sex, and they couldn't handle those things. So it was just like a breath of fresh air just to find someone or meet someone who was able to appreciate you for you and to accept all those things, all those qualities.
And mind you guys, as she said, it was a challenge. Because, her story, first of all, I had never, actually I did. So my high school girlfriend, that was the only virgin I had ever, actually got involved with as a girlfriend and boyfriend. So I had like a little mini, I guess the a pre-girlfriend that, I was a virgin, and she was still a virgin when we got done. Nothing happened.
So when you broke everything.
She was still a virgin when we didn't do anything there. So I guess God was preparing me. I don't know what that was about. So as she said, she has certain standards and morals about her own life that I was able to respect. And, just because, for me, it was a challenge. Like she said, it was a challenge. Even though I was able to do it for her, she felt respected. For me, it was like, good grief. But like I said, it was so much more. It was that spiritual side. It was like our friendship. It was just something about, our connection that we had that was more than just the regular 23-year-olds, what they think at that moment, So, thank God for those moments and, really helped shape our relationship and our courting stages. So at this point, I'm kind of feeling that she's feeling me a little bit back. So I'm enjoying it. So, we kind of got a little vibe going on now. Like I said, we were still very into our church. New beginning, Bishop Butts. Yes. We love you. We love you.
Bishop.
We love you. Y'all created the vibe. Y'all created an environment for us to really, have that spiritual connection. Right. And, just props to y'all. I love y'all. We were, again, doing things with the church. New beginning. Then we're having basketball tournaments.
Yes, and, hung out a lot. Yeah.
We just started hanging out, man. Like, I look forward to going to church for that. Not only for God, but to see my newfound girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, that was, you know how we do when we were younger. Like, guys were wanting to see their girlfriends. You know what I mean? So,
we wasn't girlfriends like that yet.
Well, basically, we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And we were at this one basketball tournament with the church. Again, we were just talking, like as friends, just talking in the car. And that was it, baby.
Yeah, this was the day that I decided to just take a leap of faith. And that was the day that I actually started releasing my feelings to him and let him know how things was changing in my eyes and in my mind, and I wanted him to know where I was at. But then,
I'm fully there by now.
And
yes. My girlfriend in my eyes.
And we fully became an official couple.
Right. Well, back in the gym as boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, nobody didn't know at the moment. We didn't go announce it or nothing.
Right. And the journey started from there.
So we just like to say, guys, thank y'all for the support that y'all have been showing our channel so far. This is our 4th video.
Yes, guys. Thank you.
This is so, this is so new for us. So, but we really appreciate y'all. You guys are watching. You guys are sharing. You guys are commenting. We appreciate all the comments, man. That's really showing up.
Thanks for the support and all the love.
Yes, guys. And so subscribe. Hit that notification bell because we have more story to tell you. Please.
Yes.
Please know we have a lot more story to tell you guys. Please know that. We've been through a lot in these last 12 years, and we want to help you. We want to help you with your relationships or your marriages. And that concludes part 1 of this series, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Come back next week for part 2. Remember to walk love,
talk love,
and give love. Even though we're striving for perfection, we know that we can't be perfect. So even though we're even though we're striving for perfection.
So, you really is doing what you about to say.
Right.